There are plenty of different transportation methods from World at War, Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 Zombies, but which 5 are the best of them all? Let's take a look. Hi guys, and welcome back to another top 5 zombie video, and today we're going to be ranking the top 5 best transportation methods from World at War, Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 Zombies. Now guys, if you could subscribe to my channel and also hit that like button as well, that would be very much appreciated. But with that said, let's move on to the list. And coming in at the number 5 spot, I have gone for the minecart from Shangri-La from Black Ops 1. Now, Shangri-La is not my favourite map of all time. There's quite a lot of features on it which I dislike, but on the other hand, there are some pretty cool things as well. And one of them is, of course, the minecart. Now, the minecart takes you from the area with the MPL, and it takes you down to the area by Mule Kick with all the water. And is it that beneficial to you? Not really, but is it enjoyable to use? Yes, it's definitely the most enjoyable form of transport from Black Ops 1 in my opinion. And although it's not technically that important because you don't really use it to get to that area, you only really tend to use this when escaping from zombies, for example. So as we know, Shangri-La is a very close quarters map. There's no ideal camping spot, especially on solo play, so you are sort of forced to sort of train and move around. And the minecart can be very useful if you're sort of trapped in this area. You can jump onto the minecart, go down, and then it gives you 10 or 15 seconds just to sort of reload and compose yourself, for example. So while not the most beneficial form of transportation, it is very, very enjoyable. And you can also hear that sort of creepy children singing if you listen very carefully when you go down the minecart. So make sure that you do listen for that if you are playing this map. But overall, I think it's a pretty enjoyable and pretty interesting form of transportation. So I'm going to put the minecart in at the number 5 spot. Moving on to the number 4 spot, I have gone for the gondola from Mob of the Dead of Black Ops 2. Now, the gondola is, of course, available on this map only, and it takes you from the cell block area of the map to the docks, and of course, vice versa. And although this is very, very beneficial because Mob of the Dead is an incredibly large map, and I do think though that it's very, very expensive. So it costs 750 points to use, and that's of course just one way. So if you want to go from the cell block to the docks and then back to the cell blocks again, you're going to be spending 1,500 points, which is quite a lot of money, especially in the early rounds. Of course, in the later rounds, it doesn't really matter, but from rounds like 1 to 10, 1,500 points is quite a lot of money. But it is very, very beneficial because it helps you just get to the docks where, of course, Juggernog is, and a part for the plane and one of the dog heads. So there are quite a lot of things at the docks which do help you progress with the game. But I just think 750 points is just a little bit on the expensive side. I think 500 points would be a more sort of suitable price in my opinion. But saying that, it does help you out because of course if you don't take the gondola, you've got to go the really, really long way of through the tunnels and down that spiral staircase sort of thing. And there are quite a lot of doors, of course, but the gondola very, very useful, of course, for traversing around the map, but it's just a little bit expensive in my opinion. So I think the number 4 spot is a very suitable position for the gondola. Coming in at the number 3 spot, I have gone for the zip lines from Call of the Dead from Black Ops 1. Now, there are 2 zip lines on this map. The first one, or one of them, takes you from the lighthouse next to Deadshot Daiquiri over to the front area of the ship, and the second one takes you from the ship next to where the power is located, and that takes you to the spawning area. And these are very, very conveniently placed zip lines. I think Call of the Dead, again, like Mob of the Dead, is a very, very large map, especially for the time that it was released. So I think that these zip lines just speed up a lot of time as opposed to running around the map, and they're just very, very conveniently placed. Now, they're not that useful for escaping zombies or George, because the zombies can also use the zip line, as can George, so it doesn't really help you in that area. But it's just they're just so useful just for quickly, you know, maneuvering around the map. And also on top of that, they're free as well. There's no price or cost to use the zip line. You just run up and just jump, and the character will automatically just jump on it, and then you're on your way, sort of thing. So you can see there the zombies sort of use the zip line as well, so they're not useful for, you know, making a getaway from zombies. They're purely just for maneuvering around the map. And yeah, I just think they're just really enjoyable and, you know, just really convenient to use. And like I said, they're free as well, so there is no issues really with the zip line. So I do think that it does deserve the number 3 spot. Now, moving on to the number 2 spot, I have gone for the teleporters from Der Riese. Now, the teleporter is by far the most infamous transportation method from Call of Duty Zombies. So there are so many maps which have teleportation. We started off in Der Riese, and it was also in Kinder de Toten, it was in 5, it was in Transit, it was in Moon, it was in so many maps, Buried, Origins. There's a lot of maps which have teleportation, but I think Der Riese does deserve the credit because this is the map which started it all off. So the teleporters on Der Riese are quite expensive. They cost 1,500 points to use. And although that is a lot, but the thing is, with World at War, there's not an awful lot of stuff to spend your money on, unlike the later maps. So 1,500 points on World at War isn't the same as 1,500 points in Black Ops 2, for example. So it doesn't really matter, to be fair, on World at War how much the teleporters cost, but they're just really useful. There's 3 teleporters, of course, on Der Riese, and they all take you back to the mainframe once they're all sort of linked up. And also a pretty interesting fact about teleporters is, of course, they are useful for killing zombies as well, which does make it quite useful if you are attempting a high round attempt, because the teleporter does deal infinite damage against the zombies. So if you don't want to use the Wunderwaffe, you can just sort of group up all of the zombies, jump into a teleporter, use it, and a lot of the zombies will get killed. So they can be useful in the area as well. And just lastly, also the teleporters do normally give you a power up as well. As you can see there, a nuke spawned in. Now it doesn't always happen. Sometimes Samantha will, you know, not give you anything, or she'll spawn in a dog, which can be quite annoying. But if you're lucky, then you will get one of the 5 power ups when you use the teleporter. So a really just famous and useful form of transportation, and I seriously do think it does deserve the number 2 spot. But guys, coming in at the number 1 spot, I have gone for the tank from Black Ops 2 on Origins. Now, for 500 points, this tank takes you from the tank station, where it always spawns, all the way to Generator 3, just outside on the mud. And this is very useful because, of course, Origins is just full of mud, and it's just not the best map to move around on foot. So it was very nice of Treyarch to implement this form of transportation, as it just makes, you know, maneuvering around the map so much easier. It's so badass as well, riding this World War I tank with flames coming out the side, and the zombies sort of run behind you, and you can pick them off as you like. Now, the zombies can jump on the tank, which is, you know, not end of the world, but it can be quite annoying. So always make sure that you're keeping on top of the zombies running behind you. But it's just such a you know, just riding the tank makes you feel so cool when you're going around this map. There are 2 routes that the tank takes. The first one is, you know, where it spawns in. As you can see, it takes you around the side, over down this sort of mud path, and it ends up by Generator 3 here. And then once the tank has cooled down and it's ready to be used again, it then sort of loops back round around the other side of the map, back to the tank station. So there is only 2 areas where the tank can go, but that's all you need really. Like I said, Origins is just full of mud. I do not like sort of running on this map if I can help it. I do ride the tank quite a lot. And obviously it's very useful. Well, it's imperative that you use the tank to build the lightning staff as well. So, you know, there's just loads of benefits from using the tank, and, you know, I just think it's just one of the best things about Origins. So yeah, I'm going to put it in at the #1 spot. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please remember to hit the like button and also subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so if you could help me out, that would be fantastic. And leave your thoughts in the comment section down below of what you thought about my list. Also guys, just quickly, I have created an entire playlist full of different top 5 zombie lists, so please ensure that you check them out as well. So thank you again for watching, and we'll be back soon with another video. Goodbye.